Imagine taking a weekend trip to clear your head, only to find yourself fighting for your life in the middle of a vast, unforgiving forest. This is the story of Claire Jensen, a woman who thought she was just going for a quiet hike and ended up in a battle against the wilderness, her own fears, and time itself. Claire Jensen was 32 years old, a graphic designer from Austin, Texas. She wasn't the outdoorsy type, not really, but after weeks of exhausting work deadlines and the recent breakup that had left her reeling, she wanted space. Silence, somewhere she could breathe without hearing city traffic or her phone buzzing. Her friend Paula had recommended Pine Ridge National Forest. Just a day hike, Paula had said. Easy trails, good for clearing your head. Claire drove up on a Saturday morning, her small hatchback rattling over gravel roads until tall pines swallowed her in green shadows. The air smelled crisp, fresh, like a world far away from conference calls and heartbreak. She packed light, water bottle, protein bars, a thin jacket tied around her waist, and her phone service dropped off just 10 miles from the entrance. The first few hours were peaceful. Birds chirped, sunlight spilled through the canopy in golden streaks, and the trail wound gently upward. Claire hummed to herself, feeling freer with every step. But freedom has a way of lulling you into carelessness. It happened so quickly. The trail forked, one side marked with a weathered sign pointing left, the other path narrowing into undergrowth. She thought she saw a shortcut to an old track that looked like it curved back toward the main ridge. If I loop around, she muttered, I'll save time. She stepped off the trail. 2 hours later, the shortcut had led her deeper into the forest. Her water bottle was half empty. The sun dipped lower, shadows lengthened, and when she finally admitted she was lost, panic struck her chest like a hammer. That was when her foot slipped. A hidden slope beneath the pine needles sent her tumbling. She rolled, branches scraping her arms, her backpack slamming against her ribs. She came to a stop against a fallen log, gasping, ankle screaming with pain. She tried to stand, but the ankle buckled. A sprain may be worse. She was alone, with no signal, no clear trail, and darkness closing in. Claire dragged herself against the log, trying not to sob. Crying would only waste energy, her rational mind told her. But the other part, the part that felt small and breakable, wanted to scream for help. Instead, she whispered, okay, think. Just think. She remembered something she'd once heard on a survival documentary. Shelter, water, fire, food in that order. Shelter first. She crawled a few feet and found a shallow dip beneath the log. Using branches and pine needles, she made a crude lean-to. It wasn't much, but it blocked the wind. Her ankle throbbed so fiercely she wrapped it with her jacket, pulling tight to keep it still. Then came the darkness. The forest transformed as the sun sank. What had been serene hours earlier now groaned and creaked like a haunted cathedral. Coyotes howled in the distance. An owl's cry made her flinch. She clutched her backpack to her chest and whispered her daughter's name, Camille. Camille was 12, staying with her father that weekend. I'll see you Monday, Claire had promised. Now that promise felt fragile, like glass slipping through her fingers. She didn't sleep that night, just shivered and waited for morning. Sunrise brought little comfort. Her mouth was dry, throat parched. She had maybe half a bottle of water left. Claire tried to stand, using a stick as a crutch, but every step was agony. Still, she pushed forward, limping toward what she hoped was downhill. Down means streams, she muttered. Streams mean water. Water means not dying. Hours blurred together. She sucked the last drops from her bottle by midday. Her stomach growled, but hunger didn't matter, thirst did. By late afternoon, dizziness washed over her. She slumped against a tree, vision swimming. That was when she heard it, a faint trickle. She forced herself toward the sound, stumbling, crawling at one point, until she saw its sunlight glinting on water. A narrow creek cutting through the pines. Relief crashed over her. She dropped to her knees, cupped her hands, and drank greedily. The water tasted earthy, maybe risky without purification, but she didn't care. Life poured back into her veins. That night, she made another shelter near the creek. Her ankle was swollen, turning purple, but at least she had water. Still, the fear was relentless. Every rustle in the brush became a predator. Once, glowing eyes flashed at the edge of her fireless camp, just a deer. But her heart had nearly stopped. By the third day, hunger gnawed at her insides. She chewed pine needles just to trick her mouth into thinking she was eating. Clouds gathered by afternoon. The air thickened, charged, and when the storm broke, it was violent. Rain poured in sheets, soaking her lean-to. Thunder cracked like artillery overhead. Her fireless camp became a swamp. She sat curled beneath the log, arms around her knees, shivering as water dripped down her face. Flashbacks haunted her. Camille at age 5, holding her hand on the first day of kindergarten. Camille last Christmas, laughing at a board game. I can't let her grow up without me, Claire thought. I won't. The storm raged all night. Morning brought silence, eerily calm after the chaos. Claire's body ached. Her ankle was worse, but her mind was sharper. She realized staying put wasn't an option. She remembered another survival tip: follow water. Streams lead to rivers. Rivers lead to people. So she followed the creek, dragging herself along the bank. Hours passed. Once, she heard a helicopter thundering in the distance. She waved her arms, screamed until her throat bled, but the sound faded. They hadn't seen her. She collapsed, sobbing into the pine needles. Please, not like this. But then, something changed. She spotted boot prints in the mud near the creek. Not hers. Fresh. Someone had been here. Adrenaline surged. She forced herself onward, ignoring pain. Each step was a battle, but hope burned in her chest. By late afternoon, she saw it, a clearing ahead, smoke rising. A campsite. She stumbled into it, startling a pair of hunters. One dropped his coffee mug in shock. Ma'am, Jesus, are you okay? Claire could barely speak. Lost for days, ankle. They caught her before she fell. One radioed for help. The other wrapped her in a blanket, pressing a bottle of water into her hands. You're safe now. We've got you. For the first time in days, she let herself cry loud, broken sobs of relief. Claire spent nights in the hospital. The ankle was fractured, but fixable. She lost weight, suffered mild dehydration, but she was alive. Camille clung to her when she returned home, refusing to let go. Don't ever leave me like that again, her daughter whispered. Claire kissed her forehead. I won't. Not like that, I promise. Reporters later called it a miracle rescue, but Claire didn't see herself as a miracle. She saw herself as someone who had been tested by the forest, by fear, by herself. And she had learned the truth. Survival isn't about strength alone. It's about refusing to give up, even when every part of you wants to. Weeks later, when she drove past the city limits and saw the endless green of Pine Ridge in the distance, she didn't feel fear anymore. She felt respect and gratitude, because the forest had tried to break her, but it had also shown her what she was made of. Survival is never guaranteed, but courage, the choice to fight, to endure, to hold on for one more hour, one more step, that's what makes the difference. Claire Jensen's story reminds us all, no matter how lost you feel, no matter how dark the night, the will to survive can lead you back to the light.